Hey.
Everybody. Y'all come on in. Dating God's way. Welcome to Dating God's Way. Hey, Tara.
Hey, y'all.
Eddie.
Hey.
Hey, Sister Sheila. Y'all come on in.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
Back to the hustle. Back to the grind. Back to the real. Side time to shine. Yeah, we at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Impact, we at it again. Impact, we at it again.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dating God's Way.
Welcome to Dating God's Way.
We at it again.
We at it again.
Tuesday night.
Yeah. We at it again.
Sister Sheila, like, what?
Yeah, we at it again.
We at it again. Yep. Welcome to Dating God's Way. That sound was produced by one of my bands, high impact band of the 90s. Where we produced that some years ago, a couple of years ago. And I like that the fact that it says impact, we at it again, because impact, we at it again. So here we are.
Impact, we at it again, just like that.
Again, just like that. Welcome to Dating God's Way on this fine Tuesday evening. Yeah, can y'all hear me okay? Somebody give me some thumbs up. All right. Hey, thanks, Brother Eddie. Yep. And I own the copyrights to that music. We own the copyrights. High Impact Band does. We own the copyrights to that music. So I'm copyright free. I won't get muted. So
Go ahead.
I had some other intro music before, and even though it was copyright free music, they flagged it for a violation. So I was like, you know what? You can't flag my own music for copyright violation. So here we go.
Go ahead. Use your own music.
Here we are. So Dating God's Way, here we are.
We at it again.
We at it again. What are we talking about this week, Pastor E?
We're actually somebody tag our question person for tonight. Go on, tag her. Our own Sister Yvette is the our fan favorite this week of our topic. And the topic was about serving each other in a relationship. That was the topic name, serving each other in a relationship. And so we renamed that topic, Cater to You or Not.
Oh,
Cater to You or Not. Okay? And so that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Did you freeze or did you go in slow motion or did you hold?
I went in slow motion, and I thought you froze when I went in slow motion.
I thought you froze. Okay.
Okay. I went in slow motion though. Yeah. Yes. So our title tonight is about during the dating stage. Should there be any catering going on, Pastor Will? Okay. Say service to one another. Should there be any catering going on during the dating stage? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight from our fan topic on tonight.
So a few weeks ago, the internet or Twitter erupted over probably a 20-something year song
Yeah.
by Destiny's Child, where somebody went back, and I mean, like literally, if you go back and listen to all the lyrics of 90s song, you're gonna be shocked and appalled that this is what I used to listen to. Like, really? So, but somebody did this to Destiny's Child song. Um, and this song is catered to you, right? And so let's see. Let's read a little bit. I want to read a little bit of it. Okay. So, because I'm not going to sing it for you, because that'd be a copyright infringement. Because I can when I sing, it's going to be like Destiny's, children, right? And so, what's up,
No.
brother Law? Hey, good
Hey,
to see you, man. So it says, "Baby, I see you working hard. I want to see you I want to see you know I'm proud. I want to let you. I want to let you know I'm proud. Let you know that I admire what you do. The more, if I need to reassure you, my life would be purposeless without you. Yeah." If I want it, got it. When I ask you, prove it, right? Then it
uh-huh.
says, you inspire me to be better. You challenge me for the better.
Okay.
Sit back and pour out my love letter. I had to go slow. Maybe we'll see what the last thing was.
Right.
Okay, then in this verse it says, let me cater to you, because baby, this is your day. Do anything for my man. You blow me away. I got your slippers, your dinner, your dessert, and so much more. Anything you want. And then it goes on to let me cater to you and all this other stuff.
Let me cater to you. Let me cater to you. Let me cater to you. That's what we talk about tonight. Should there be any catering going on during the dating stage, Pastor Will? Should there be any catering going on? Okay, that's what we talking about tonight.
That's what we're talking about tonight.
So, if you guys remember, we had a Dating God's Way on Chivalry.
Oh, Sarah, I know we weren't listening.
Chivalry. You remember that, Pastor Will?
I remember that was a good one too.
On Chivalry?
Yeah.
So I think, as we get into this conversation about what does it mean, the question that was raised was, what does it mean to serve one another or be to service of one another in the dating stage? I think it's important to set some kind of expectations.
That's good. Expectation is a good word.
Yeah. Set some expectations about when we're talking about dating God's way. What we're really talking about is we're talking about the levels. Okay. I think that's how we're going to define this tonight. We're talking about the levels. In other words, there's levels to this.
Yeah.
So when I'm dating in a discovery stage with someone, okay, before we get to engagement, before we get to marriage, I think it is important to state that if I already have a view of catering and service that is worldly, I'm going to actually be in trouble. As a believer, if my idea of catering to the person I'm dating is drawing them some bath water, is massaging their feet, washing their hair, what's going to happen is I'm going to get in trouble.
Trouble.
So when we talk about how to be in service to one another while dating, I think we have to figure out what are we really talking about, because the most believers are worldly as get out. Okay? A lot of believers, some even spirit-filled, Pastor Will, is worldly and carnal.
Yes.
And so when they talking about being of service or catering to one another, in most cases, is going to lead to sex.
And this include, let me say this include the old single mother that always got to give the deacon the dinner.
That's correct. Because they think we're just talking to young people. We're talking to old people too, because old people be out here in these streets sinning with Jesus.
Catering.
Yeah, because people always be on dang God's way, like tell the young people, nah, we talking to you old people too. Hey, y'all. Hey. Okay.
We used to say what 8 to 80 blind, crippled, and crazies.
Ooh. Didn't pull that out tonight.
All is included.
Everybody included. So catering, yes, being of service to one another. What's your perspective? Where's your perspective coming from?
Yeah.
Because if it is coming from what you seen on the TV, then you in trouble. Okay?
You're in trouble.
If you using Tyler Perry's show on BET, and that's telling you how to be of service, and that's your perspective of how to be of service and cater to one another, that's carnal. That is definitely going to lead to sin, Pastor Will.
Definitely, because it's all pleasing the flesh.
It's all pleasing the flesh.
The catering to you is really pleasing or numbing your flesh.
Yeah. So, I think as we talk about this tonight, what we're really opening up or getting into is we're really getting into what expectations, because I also think, so look, Tara said, yeah, because they massage your feet on Tyler Perry. That's what I'm saying. That's right. What they doing on it, right? That's what they doing. So I think when we talk about, dating God's way, we're talking about having a perspective that's God's perspective, right? Mm-hmm. And when we talk about catering and or chivalry and or being of service to one another, we have to make sure that all of the worldly stuff is out.
Yeah.
That we are really renewed in our thinking of dating. Because if not, we about to get caught up.
So we go back to the scripture of being renewed, being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so, we talking about, here we go, because we stay on this all the time, especially at Vision Impact Center, is that to receive this or to walk in this, it takes a transformed mind.
Yeah.
Right? A mind that's transformed from the world into the light of God. Your mind got to be transformed, not just your state of being, but your mind has to be transformed in this way.
One of the things that I find too, Pastor Will, that when we start talking about this, I think a lot of people also have confusion about what they desire. So when we start talking about catering to one another, being of service to one another, serving one another, a lot of times people have a lot of confusion about what they desire out of what their expectations are of a relationship, right? True. It could be worldly, it could be godly, but they just don't even know what it is, right? And so when getting into the dating stage and somebody starts to send you flowers or starts to be chivalrous and open your door, some people are like, why are you doing that?
True.
Right. And so now somebody trying to show your butt some real chivalrous, respectful type of behavior. And because carnality and worldliness is there, you're rejecting the chivalry. Can you see Pastor Will?
I can see that. Because, well, I'll let you go. I think I'm gonna go too far. So go ahead. I think I might go too far.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No,
You go ahead.
no,
I'll bring
no,
it back.
no, I'm gonna go too far on your notes. So go ahead, keep
Oh,
going.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because what we see is that, you know, a lot of people have expectations that they expect in the dating stage, right? That are not things that are really for the dating stage. That's number one. But number two, there are things that the expectations that somebody has when somebody is being respectful, they're not doing enough. They doing too much. So I think it's becoming clear about what's your expectations. What should you expect out of the dating stage?
yeah.
How much should somebody be doing while we discovering?
True. Who sets the expectations?
I think both people have to set the expectations. You know, I think that when we're talking about a man and a woman, I will say that he who finds a wife, so I do think the man, from a biblical perspective, the man is the pursuer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we agree with that, Pastor Will?
I agree with that.
Awesome. So the man is the pursuer. And so as the pursuer, I think the man sets some expectation about, you know, how he pursues, but the woman also has to be clear about how she wants to be pursued.
You know, one of my Kenyan brothers wrote something on Facebook about being the pursuer,
Oh,
and I'm gonna try to find him.
okay, all right, get it together. Yes, the man is the pursuer. That I absolutely. That's how we do it here. The man is the pursuer, but the woman has to be clear about how she wants to be pursued. Got to be clear. Got to be some clarity about how she wants to be pursued.
Yeah. So
And I got a story about that, but you go ahead and tell yours first, and then I'm gonna get on my story.
so Pastor Samson in Kenya, you know, he shared the scripture, Proverbs 18:22. You know, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord.
Yeah.
Right. Um, and then somebody commented, but this is what he commented back, which I loved. He says, locating a wife is one thing, but finding her is an entirely different experience. And that is the place where the favor of God is tapped. The activity of locating a wife guarantees you nothing. Anyone can locate and marry. However, finding a wife is a spirit-driven quest that involves praying, seeking, discovering, perceiving, uncovering, recognizing, unveiling, discerning, attaining, and obtaining. Only the Holy Ghost driven do this, but this is the true pursuit that a man of God engages in when understanding the true role and power of a woman. Then comes favor.
Whoa. So he said the activity of the activity of location. Okay. Yeah. Which is some of what we're talking about tonight. It's locating.
Yeah.
Yeah. The locating is easy. Anybody can locate.
Yeah.
And get married. But the finding is a spiritual driven quest. That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing. That takes discerning. What else?
Oh,
praying.
I minimize it. Yeah, praying. Man, I minimize it. You ain't tell me you was going back to it. That takes, let's see, that takes praying. That involves praying, seeking, discovering, perceiving, uncovering, recognizing, unveiling, discerning, attaining and obtaining.
Yeah. So, we in the box tonight of location. Right. And I think it's good to be clear about that. That tonight, what we're really talking about is the activity of locating.
Yeah.
The activity of locating, which is, as being stated, is really different than the finding of a wife. Right? This stage of dating, catering, service, being in service to, is very different than, I think about, our own story. And I don't really know what your expectation of dating was in the prior to me. But I was very clear. I had expectations. Right? I was not a IHOP or Denny type of girl. I just was not. Okay? I was not. That was not the way I treated myself. So I had an expectation that we were going to live the type of, we were going to start in a place, okay? We were going to start in a place, and the pursuit, I was clear about expectations. I think that that's important. The woman also has to be clear, not just the man in pursuit, but also the woman of what she values, what she appreciates. What you think about that, Pastor Will, before we get to Sean's question?
Yeah. So you know, I was, after I located you, I had to make a decision on, based on what I located, would I pursue it? Would I not it, but would I pursue you?
Yeah, me.
Me, yeah, you. I said me. No, you. Uh, I had to make that decision, and I think each man has to make that decision. Like, um, especially when you start off as friends, and yes, you located your lifelong friend, but are you willing to pursue to find the wife in that lifelong friend?
That's it right here. Yeah. Are you willing to go beyond location to actually finding the wife in that lifelong friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I was in the dating stage. I saw enough to pursue the wife that was there.
Yeah. So let's get to this question. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So if the man pursues the woman as she wishes, but is unable to maintain the level of pursuit that is required, should he then leave her alone or try to stick it out? I think this is a great question.
Yeah.
I think this is a great question. Who gonna get in the first, me or you?
Um, I,
I'm jumping. Go ahead.
I'll let you swing first. I'll swing second.
I would say that I think that once you get into a discovery stage, speaking from our experience, we started out as friends, and so we had a lot of banter and funniness about my expectations. I like eating steak and seafood, those types of things, right? But as we got really, I think as you really got in pursuit, we also had conversations of like, we were moving towards something. And so the pursuit then looked different, right? It's like, it wasn't necessarily about maintaining the pursuit, as it was about us now deciding that we wanted to move together. And I do think that that becomes a part of it, that in the beginning, there is a pursuit, but there is a certain part when we get to a stage where we decide to then build together, move together towards building. And that looks different. So I would say that I would start there, Pastor Will, with, things change, things happen, but also I think there is a shift that comes in the dating stage when you move from one stage to another. And it's less about pursuing and more about moving together. What you think, Pastor Will?
So I think, in one way I read this, I'm gonna preface first to say, like, this is not a cat and mouse game, right? So, like, if you pursuing as she wishes, that sounds like that she's playing like a cat and mouse game, like, because her wishes can change,
Yeah.
right? So, what I'll say is that, first we have to discern, Sean, that, okay, are you playing games with my pursuit?
Yeah.
Right? Am I really pursuing you, or do you just like to chase?
Are you trying to figure out what you want with me?
Exactly.
You don't know yet, but you're trying to figure it out.
Right. Are you really findable? Are you really that findable wife?
Yeah.
Because in order to be a wife, you have to be in find. The wife has to be in find mode. She has to be findable. And if she got wishes on how she want to be found, I'm sorry, I don't know if she wants to be found. Um, so that's the first thing I'll say. So if a man pursues a woman as she wishes, but is able to maintain a level of pursuit, right? So I think at some point, you have your pursuit has ended because you have found your wife. And now, like Pastor E says, now you are no longer in pursuit. Now you're building.
Yeah.
You're building towards marriage, and you're building beyond marriage.
And
So,
I
so,
think
so
level of pursuit also, Pastor Will, it's not about money.
never. It shouldn't be.
It should not be about money. I use like the place I like to go and all those things as an example. But the level of pursuit should not be about money. There were things that I just did not like. I mean, like it wasn't about necessarily can he afford to blah blah blah. I just didn't prefer that.
But some things of the pursuit was me building who I was, right? So it wasn't about you eating steak every night, but was I financially stable?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that part of the pursuit, that was me working on my behalf for me to become financially stable. So when I pursued you, my stability, I pursued you from a stable place,
Yeah.
or I pursued you in whatever character that I had, right? And so all of those play maturity, stability, um, all of those things have take place in this whole pursuit thing, in this pursuit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also, Pastor Will, being honest about where you are. Like,
Yeah.
I think, if you guys are in college, that's one thing. If you're a certain age, that's another thing. I mean, I just think like it's also some like if you both are in a discovery stage of like right now, I'm just in a stage where like, yes, I want to be together, I want to pursue you or whatever, but right now, this is where we are, this age we're at or whatever. I think once you get to different spaces, then there are different levels of pursuit, right? Because maybe you're not ready to be married for another 5 years, maybe you're not ready to be married for another 3 years. So that looks like, I think, being honest about, I'm really going to be in a long-term relationship with somebody. I'm not looking for marriage in the next year, 2 years or whatever, right? I knew I wasn't going to date anybody for a long time. Like, so I was clear with Pastor Will about that up front in the beginning.
And
I'm
that's
not
what
dating a long time.
that's what I wanted to say is,
Yeah.
and to get to the last part of this question, should you leave her alone or stick it out? I think that's a question, that's a conversation that you has to have a heart to heart that says, hey, okay, so where are we? Where are you? Because this is where I am. I'm trying to pursue you. I'm trying to create this future for you. But if you don't like this pursuit, or in this pursuit, you kind of feel in a certain way about it, then say so.
Yeah.
So either I could change how I pursue, or I can take what I have and pursue somebody else that's ready. That's really my wife to be found. Because
That's right.
maybe you're not it.
That's right. Timeline, time spent, all of those time spent, all those things are conversations about the pursuit. that is important to have with the other person? Yeah. Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does it mean by moving and building?
We got questions from the fellas tonight.
Yeah, love it. What does it mean by moving and building together? Can you explain more? Absolutely, I can. And so let's go back over this. We talked about this before. Let's get into our relationship stages. I think the relationship stages is very important to the conversation that we're having tonight. So there are 3 relationship stages that we're going to talk about tonight. The first one is dating. And dating is really a time of discovery. That's a time where we're getting to know each other. We're deciding if the pursuit is right, the timeline, the expectation. That's all happening during the discovery stage. It's finding out more, right?
That's the one thing I love about babies is their discovery stage. It's like they are willing to, or they want to, not willing, they want to learn about everything.
Yes.
Like nothing is safe around them. Even they see something shiny, they want the shiny thing. They want to see everything that's appealing to them.
Yeah.
And so the discovery stage should be fun. It should be okay.
Fun, you guys.
Right. It shouldn't be, discovery should not be stressful.
No. If you're stressing out, you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
Period. It should be fun. You discovering, getting to know someone should be fun. You should actually be having fun with each other.
Right. You're discovering, you're not exclusive yet. You're just discovering who each other are, before the exclusivity comes in.
That's right. Right. And then once we decide that our dating has shifted from discovery to moving to something else, now we're deciding, look, this is me and you. This is what we decided. We're in it. Nobody else can get into this because it's me and you, right? And then we're going to get to the pre-marriage stage, right? That's a commitment to now begin moving together, because now we are making the commitment that I'm moving together with you. And I want to say this, that a lot of times, this conversation we're having tonight, a lot of times people move to the moving together stage too quickly. You're in the dating stage and you're already serving somebody like you married to them. You're already talking about how y'all gonna live together, the money y'all make, where you gonna live, and you don't even have a commitment. It's too crazy. Okay? It's too crazy to already start moving like there's a commitment before there is a commitment.
Yeah.
Before you even know if you want a commitment. So that relationship stage, the pre-marriage, is a commitment to moving together towards marriage. And then marriage is being committed to building together. And that is the stage where we decide we're going to take all our stuff and we're going to build together.
Yeah.
We're going to take everything we got, we're going to put it in a pot, and we're going to build together. That's me and Pastor Will. That's our philosophy on marriage, right? Yes, he's the head of the house. He the priest of the home. He got all of that. He can have that. Love it. You got it. But the reality is we build together. We are one. And as one, we choose to build together, lower ourselves so we can be one. That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we mean by moving and building together. You can't move together till you got a commitment to move together. You can't build together until you have a real commitment to do so. Yeah. Hope that was clear, Brother Cavante. Yeah. Yeah. Don't move too fast and don't build too fast. Discover. As long as you need to discover what you need to discover to see if this, to discern and to recognize and to know if this is someone that I want to move and build with.
Yeah.
Because that's not like picking lottery numbers. It's supposed to be a spiritual quest. You're supposed to be getting to know, is this someone that I cannot imagine, this is someone that I cannot, when I say divorce is not an option, I mean that, right? Like, we've had our moments, absolutely, when we was ready to blow the house up. But it's a spiritual choice, right, Pastor Will?
Yeah, and when you move in this manner, you build, or you moving towards the purpose of your marriage. You
Yeah.
moving towards the purpose of your relationship, which will move you towards longevity in your relationship. Because once you discover purpose in your relationship and purpose for your relationship, understand why you are together, and you understand what God's role for you, or what God's purpose is for your marriage to accomplish. So it leads to longevity. It leads to life. It leads to a lot of excitement. And so these three things are really important: committing to moving together, marriage, and being committed to building together. So yeah, good job, Patsy.
Yeah, I got some scriptures tonight too. We ready for scriptures, or you want to let people talk a little bit? We want to go and talk a little bit more.
Well, what else we got?
What else we got?
Yeah,
Do we go? Do we do all our notes tonight? What we do? What we do? What we do? What we do?
I think we
Does discovery mean exclusively?
all right. So like I said before, no, discovery is discovery. Discovery does not mean exclusivity. Exclusively is a decision, of course, that you and your you and the other have to make, that are we exclusive? And not only are we exclusive, but what does exclusive mean? Right?
Yeah,
Let's have
yeah.
some board. Let's have some definition with this exclusivity.
Exclusivity, yes. So, because I'm getting a question right now in the box, Pastor Will, the inbox. Is it wrong to discover with more than one person at the same time? And I
No,
think, look, I think at the end of the day, if we haven't decided yet that you're committed and we're committed to moving together, then right now we don't even know if this takes a maturity. So let me just start with that. This takes a maturity. We haven't decided yet that we are who we're gonna be with. Then what? Look, what am I? At the end of the day, I'm discovering.
I was talking on the phone with somebody, and he was telling me about these two friends that he had, and he didn't say it this way, but I'll say it to you in this way. But he was in discovery mode. But you know what he discovered mostly about these two people is discover who he was with these two people, of who he was, how he act, what he needed in his life. So the discovery was really less about, in this case, it was less about the two females that he was friends with, but it was more about who he was in discovering what he didn't know he needed to discover for himself.
I think I think there is a point that you can get to exclusivity where you say, like, we have now made the decision. It's only me and you.
Absolutely.
That's a place. That should be a place that you get to.
But that's
right?
not day one.
That ain't day one. It ain't day 5. Like,
Yeah.
that's a decision. That should be an intentional decision that we are making after we've done some discovery. That's why I think that's why, we only look, we it took us 10 minutes. We was together, we got married, but we was a whirlwind. That's the truth. But I can appreciate the period of time when we kept just pressing each other to be friends. Because I do feel like there was a point in the beginning where either of us didn't know yet, where we were just being clear. We don't know.
Because I looked in your eyes like this, and I lowered my voice like this, and I say, I don't want to love nobody like you.
Pastor Will, cut it tonight. Cut it tonight, right now. Cut it.
Man.
I think cut it. I think that also gets rid of infatuation.
For
that
sure.
gets rid of infatuating dating, where you've already lying to each other that you are somewhere you are not. That you are lying to each other saying, yes, I'm going to commit to you now while we're dating. And it's a lie. You're not committing to nothing because you don't even know yet. You do not know. You do not know.
You don't know.
Discovery is about getting to know. Getting to know. And if you are an intentional, purposeful, know what you want person, then you can get to know pretty quickly. But if you don't know what you want, you're going to have a hard time communicating that to someone else. And then when somebody's doing something that you don't want them to do, you're going to have a hard time communicating because you don't know. So the first discovery is self-discovery. Make sure you know what you want, because nobody know how to give you what you don't know. I'm going to tell y'all right now, that's one of the biggest things in marriage counseling that make me the most tired. When the person is like, they should know what I want. Now that one, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I have to stay in counselor mode, but that one get me right. So you don't know what you want, but you want your spouse now should know what you want. Okay, that is foolishness. Okay, and the first discovery is self-discovery. And if during that discovery stage, quite like it was with me and Pastor Will, if you with someone else and you discover, then you discover, look, I wasn't playing around with either party, but like we hadn't committed yet to being all the way. We ain't commit. Well, I'm getting a whole lot of inbox messages. Why everybody inboxing me tonight? Okay, so
you got the hot box.
I got the hot box. Hold on, let me see what's in the box again. Okay, right. And so the question now is, so what if y'all broke up, right? And then while y'all was broke up, the person was with somebody else. Okay, now what? What happened now? Should you be mad? What if they want to get back together? What should happen? And look, the clear and simple answer to that is this: that if you broke up, then you broke up.
Yeah, you're gonna be hurt. I sympathize and empathize with you.
That's the E don't sympathize at all.
Breakups hurt. Breakups.
No, I'm talking about, but you can't be mad that they with somebody else. You broke up with them. That's for real. Come on, and be for real. If you broke up with somebody, how you mad that they with somebody else? You missing out. Stop being crazy. Don't encourage people to be crazy.
No, I'm not. I don't want to encourage you to be crazy. I'm just like,
thank you. Don't encourage craziness.
Just be soft on them a little bit.
I'll be soft in saying this. This is how I'm gonna be soft tonight, because I'm gonna clap it up in a minute. This is how I'm gonna be soft and get it right. If you don't know how to treat somebody, and then y'all not together any longer, and they move on. Sometimes that was a result of you didn't treat the person right, or you weren't ready to commit, and you got to be all right with that.
Yeah,
you gotta be all right. Gotta be all right with that.
Yeah, and you got to just take the out. Oh well, I guess that wasn't meant for me. You know.
Yeah. We're not. That's correct. We're not encouraging no crazy. That is crazy. Okay, you break up with somebody but they have expectations. That is crazy. So we're not encouraging.
But the question on the table was it was just y'all broke up and they were with somebody else, right? But yeah, don't be obsessive.
Do not be obsessive. Yeah. No, and no.
Yes.
I think what we're talking about is really when we're talking about serving and catering to one another, that is about this right here. I'm gonna give it to y'all. Oh my gosh, it's I got too many words on here. It won't let me do all of them. Oh yes, it will. Here we go. It will. This is gonna be Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5 right here, y'all. Ephesians 5 says this. And further submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. For wives, this means submit to your husband as to the Lord. For a husband is the head of his wife, as Christ is the head of the church. He is the savior of his body, the church. As the church submits to Christ, so you wives should submit to your husbands in everything. For husband, this means love your wives just as Christ loved the church. He gave up his life for her. Let me just go ahead and give it, Pastor Will, the answer for tonight.
Okay.
That cater to you. This the real answer. That when you get to marriage, the real answer is submit to the husband in everything. Husband, give up your life for the wife. That is the actual. So, in other words, there's levels to this. That in dating and discovering and even engagement, we're not quite at this level yet. Because there's levels to catering and being of service to one another. And this is the goal right here. What you think about that, Pastor Will?
No, I definitely agree. And going back to the song, like "Cater to You," that shouldn't have been a song by Destiny's Child. I mean, really, it should have. I mean, especially at that time where they were probably teenagers or in their 20s. I mean, it should have been. It would have been more appropriate for a husband and wife to cater and seeing catering to each other, because that's what the catering is for. It's husband and wife that gets the slippers for each other. It's
that
the husband and wife
feet.
that massage your feet, that do those things. Not and because they seen you and they know you and they are your helpmate, they are with you when you're working hard, whether they physically with you or not, or they are mentally there with you, praying for you, praying that you stay safe on your job, praying that you come home healthy, come home safe. Absolutely, that's the catering. That catering kind of catering should be reserved for a husband or wife.
That's correct. And I think that's the thing is, in reality, Pastor Will, that most people that are talking about being of service to one another, catering to one another, they really not ready for the real level. And this is the level right here. This is where we are. This is where marriage moves you to, right? It is a level of selflessness that it takes to be married. Like, it is a level of, you cannot be selfish. Like, that's selfish people get divorced. That's the truth, Pastor Will.
So tell me this. What you say to the theologians that says, well, Ruth catered to Boaz?
We in different dispensation of time, Pastor Will. We're not even gonna start this. We ain't gonna start. It was cultural. It was cultural.
I'm throwing it out there because that could be, well, Ruth catered to Boaz. What do we say to that? How do we speak to that?
It was a different dispensation of time, right? And look, at the end of the day, like, yes, Ruth catered to Boaz. David seeing women on rooftops. It was a lot of stuff that happened in the Bible that had to be dealt with. And I think, from that perspective of, like, first of all, it was their wedding night. That's number one. It was their wedding night, right? So it was their wedding night, and, he died, right? He died during the consummation. So I think people got to just be careful about using Ruth and Boaz as their example, because the stuff that actually happened with Ruth and Boaz is not what you really, it's not actually what you're going for. It's not it. That's what I'm going to say, Pastor Will. It ain't it. It didn't have longevity to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And um, you know, going back to Ruth and Boaz, that was um really a really spiritual um encounter um that that had to happen in that way.
Yes, it has spiritual
Um,
significance to
it
it.
had it has spiritual significance to it. Um, and so
80 and she was 40.
absolutely. So let me be careful and say this. The, the catering, the catering should not come from the world's definition of cater.
Right. Where we
Right.
started at. Go back
Where
to
we
that.
started at. Right.
Yeah.
Um, Naomi uh, was a God fearing woman.
Yeah. And it shouldn't
And
always come from the Bible either, from that perspective, because you got to
yeah,
then take it in context.
right.
What was happening at that time? What was the spiritual significance? So you got to be careful with just making up stories in the Bible that you're going to now fashion yourself behind. You need to get to this New Testament in Ephesians, Corinthians, when they were writing to the church and telling them how to be married and flee fornication and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we got to get to.
That's what we got to get to. Amen.
That's what you got to get to. That's the answer.
That's
The answer was written in the Word of God to tell us how to do this stuff. Stop going to Old Testament looking for excuses to sin. That's it. That's it, Pastor Will. The hammer. The hammer, the hammer, the hammer. So what would be some appropriate displays of affection, appreciation in the discovery stage?
Yeah.
What's the way to do this that don't get people into sin?
Yeah. I think sometimes just saying thank you. Appreciate saying thank you. I appreciate what you did or something like that. Words, maybe even cards, just flowers.
Yeah, flowers, yeah.
Those things are all fine. But it's the skin to skin touch, it's the alone times, and those other things that really gets us in trouble.
Absolutely. It's that worldly affection and worldly view of catering to each other and serving each other that gets us in trouble. And so, from a biblical perspective, we should keep the affection, most of the affection for after. Because most of the affection gonna get us in trouble. That's just the truth.
Yeah, Tess, she on fire tonight. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Pastor.
Rubbing on legs and rubbing on backs sometimes is too much, child. Okay, it's the fire. So I think it is. It's important to have boundaries around touch, boundaries around time. All those things are doors that can open up. And so I think I think that appreciation looks like our ability to go out to dinner, have safeness, keep the spiritual boundaries while we're still appreciating each other and having some public time together. Those are all good, appropriate ways of showing some affection. Look, at the end of this day, Pastor Will, what's the answer? At the end of the day, all of the things that lead to sex should be a no-no for the believer. That's just the answer, right? And you say, of course. Ain't no, of course, because
not of course.
No, because I'm talking about you said, of course, like everybody now.
I said for sure. I said for sure. I ain't say of course. I said for sure.
I was going to say that. Look, we ain't acting like. So I think one of the things is chivalry versus relationship expectations, right? You can be chivalrous without trying to get in somebody's panties.
Yes, true.
I think that's what we are. Okay, without getting to the next level. I also think that what you expect from someone when you're dating versus what you expect from someone when you both have a commitment to spend your life together. That's two different things. What you get in the dating stage is different than what you get in the premarital and the marital stage. Some stuff gotta wait until marriage. It just got to wait. You don't get that yet, because right now you're stealing. You're stealing from God. Okay? You shouldn't be taking what belongs to God.
Or just because they ain't do this yet or do ain't that yet, it doesn't mean that something is wrong with them. They could just be walking in the light of salvation.
That's it. They could be that they tried to respect your tail. Okay, that's the problem. They trying to show you some respect, but because carnality, people so worldly.
That's it.
Why you not? Maybe because I'm trying to be out here living like Jesus, like we supposed to be doing God's way.
Maybe I'm just trying to live God's way, you know. Maybe
I'm trying to live God's way. Right. And now I gotta be gay because I'm trying to live God's way.
Yeah.
This getting crazy, y'all. Somebody gotta be gay because they trying to live God's way. I mean, for real, y'all. We gotta stop in this church. For real. It's getting crazy. In the church. Not talking about in the world. I'm talking about in the church. In the church, y'all. Chill on that. Okay? Yeah. Being respected should be expected. That is for real. Being respected should be an expectation you have for yourself as a godly woman or a godly man. That somebody is going to respect your relationship with God, is going to respect who you are as a woman or a man. And if you're not ready for that, we ain't ready. We ain't ready to be pursued.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this being of service to one another, really, this is how people start feeling that they getting taken advantage of. They start feeling like they're being taken advantage of because they're doing husband or wifely duties for a temporary lover. And then you like, well, what happened? What happened was that person you was on a temporary basis doing permanent duties for. That's what had happened, Pastor Will. What had happened was you giving that temporary lover too much service. You're temporary. What they used to say that back in the day, Pastor Will? You're giving the cat, what do you say? The milk? What is it? The cows in the milk.
I don't know what you saying, Pastor E.
The cows in the milk. You know it about the cow in the milk.
Oh boy. Too much.
They say if you give away the milk for free, right? What do you say about that? You know that one. Something that the mamas, the old mamas used to say. There you go. Here you go, right here. I'll put it on the screen.
Who was that? Sister Sheila that said?
No, Kabante. Oh, they both said, I pay for the cow when you can get the milk for free. In other words, why allow yourself to be disrespected by giving someone permanent duties that's temporary? And then you feel like you was disrespected. You was taken advantage of. No, you took advantage of yourself by allowing yourself to give at that level without that level of commitment. That's what we talk about tonight. Don't give it away until it's time. No bank account numbers, how much you make. Just chill. Chill till it's time. So there is a commitment that demands that. Yeah. And the commitment ain't going to demand control. The commitment is going to demand submission. Ain't that right, Pastor Will? True. Submission is sacrifice. The woman submits And the man sacrifices it all. He gives his life for her. Yeah.
Yep.
Dating God's way.
If you want to do it God's way, these are the requirements.
Yeah. Yeah. This is y'all. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. Yeah. There's levels to this. It's fun comments tonight. Yes, and yes, child.
All right. So yeah.
Well, our fan favorite tonight, Sister Yvette. Hopefully, we did your topic some justice. This was a lot. This was a lot. Yes, and yes. Thank you for joining Dating God's Way tonight. Remember that serving one another in relationship, there's levels to it. Don't go too far too soon. Don't give too much too soon. Date God's way. Woo-hoo. Good night. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining.
That's what you mean to me. Love you guys. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
My last chance. I'm taking it here. Round zero. Starting out with this beat. Back to the hustle. Back to the
Good night.
Back to the real.
Okay.
Shot time to shine. Yeah, we at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Impact, we at it again. Impact, we at it again.
Absolutely, we will. Post the replay of the Chivalry episode. Yes, we will do that tonight, Pastor Will, tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes, we will.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Love you all. Night.